everyone, Gisèle, founder of New Initiative. This is the part 3. Yes, I was going to say 4, but it's actually part 3 of our couple series.
Hello, I'm Edgar, husband number 1, but part 3. For me, the bad days are related to school, because for me, education is so important. I love to read. I love, I have a legal background. I've been into books since childhood, and that has been my way to connect to the world. So for me, I always wanted to have my son to know how to read and to write, because I thought this is how he would be connecting to society. And then when we were looking for schools, and when we've got rejected by one of these schools here, I was broken, because I would wonder, how can institution like a school not be willing to take in a child that is so vulnerable, that has so many needs. For me, it was devastating. I think that's what's the most difficult for me. But I have a formidable and wonderful wife who would never back down, and she fought and fought and fought until we got to school.
So to me, it's also related to school, unfortunately. And I remember that was like a few months after we received the diagnosis. And remember, I was telling you, I was already in a very bad place emotionally. And one day the school called me here in Nairobi, in Kenya. And one day the school called me and said, please, we need to see you as soon as possible. Something has happened. So I was in the middle, I was actually going to a supermarket, so I had to drop everything, and my heart was just beating. I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? So I rushed to the school, and I was in the director's office, and with, I think there were like 7 teachers. And yes, this morning Louis came, and he threw on the floor a shelf, and it could have hurt others, and it's non-acceptable. And then that was the director talking, and then another teacher was telling me, yeah, and he's not potty trained. And it was just a list of things he was doing and a list of the things he doesn't do. And I remember very well that day, I almost cried. Because I'm like, but this is a school that say they accept children with special needs. Number 1. Number 2, all the things they're listing or they're telling me, these are things I've told them and that they know. How can a human being call a mother, and you are like in some kind of court, and people accusing your child of doing X, Y, Z for things that he's not even in control of? That was, I think, one of the most painful moments I remember, because I went back home. I think I've told him even later. I remember crying in the car, and I was telling God, I'm like, God, I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do? Look at the way they're talking about my child, as if he was just a sort of list of bad things. It's too painful, and that's something I really recall. Thankfully, the school later. Yeah, they apologized. So, but it was tough. Yeah, now when we look back, we're like, now we have been through a lot, but life is so much easier now. Life is so much beautiful now, and we thank God for that. And one of the best moments is when I realized that my son knew how to read and how to write, and without us really pushing anything, because at the time we realized that was actually 3.5 years ago. We thought he was at a state where he knew all his alphabet, and he knew how to form a word with 3 letters, when actually the boy knew absolutely everything. So we said earlier that he doesn't speak yet. As we speak now, he can utter some words, but he writes and he types. And it was discovered by his nanny and by his teacher at the time when we were living in Kenya. And we realized he knew everything. He knew his grandparents' name, his what his dad was, where his dad was working, the name of his schools, everything. And because I was being Thomas in the Bible at that time, like Thomas in the Bible at that time, so I wanted to know even more about the things he knew. And when I've asked him, who is Jesus? He said, Jesus is my Lord and my Savior. He didn't say Jesus is the Lord or the Savior. That is, I mean, come on. I will never forget that day. And up to date is the most beautiful reward that God has given us. To know that your child has a spirituality and that he says that Jesus is his Lord and his Savior, then I think we can say we did a good job as Christian parents, because this is an aspect that we have never neglected. No matter how bad the situation was, we have never neglected the spiritual side of our lives or of his lives. We were always praying for him, and we will always take him to church.
One of the high moments or moment of joy was this year when I learned that my son was nominated for the Principal Award in the schools that he attends in Dubai.
This was in April. Yeah.
And it was amazing because it's a very good school, and the Principal Awards are for the best students, around 10% of the school. And it's not necessarily based on the fact that a child has special needs. So I was elated to know that he was recommended by different professors and teachers in their voting system. And when he walked on the stage to receive the Principal Award, seeing him on the stage, and he got a nearly standing ovation from the schoolmates in the auditorium. I think that was one of the brightest moments for me, one of the best moments in my life.